Next Generation Weather Forecast is Joe Shockey here from patreon.com/stormchasergs. Today's video will be going on YouTube because we have a lot to cover in the tropics, and we have, I would believe, I've been saying this for about a week now, a historic situation unfolding in the central Gulf of Mexico where we will have two hurricanes, I do believe, Marco and Laura, impacting, again, the central Gulf of Mexico early next week. We have never seen something like this as far as records go back to 1851. This is just unbelievable. So we're going to start, first of all, with Tropical Storm Marco here. You can see winds of 65 miles an hour, and you can see what that looks like there. And then here is Tropical Storm Laura with winds of 50 miles an hour. So we'll go take a look here at Marco first. On the visible satellite imagery, you can see very, very deep convection in between Cuba and the Yucatan. It was able to slide in between the channel here instead of going over the Yucatan because it's a little bit of a stronger system. So it's able to feel the upper level pattern a little bit more and be able to get pulled north like this, like what you're seeing now. So if we go over here and look at the long wave radiation here in satellite, you can see we have very, very deep convection. These black blotches begin to pop up around the center. So this is becoming a highly organized tropical system and likely becomes, I think, a hurricane by the end of the day. So you can see what Marco looks like there, a very, very favorable environment for Marco. And we take a look at the intensity guidance and models here. This is the European for Marco, the 12Z ensemble. You can see brings it up to the north. And again, I think the model here is significantly underdone. I do believe this has become a Category 1 hurricane over the next few days. It continues to move north towards New Orleans. The GFS looks like this. The UK Met looks like this. So you can see that general northward movement up towards the central Gulf of Mexico. So that's the global models. And we're actually going to look here at the hurricane models. Here is the HWF, the Hurricane Weather Research Forecast model. And I'm going to advance this forward over here using the next forecast hours so you can see what the model has. This is the 12Z run. You can see what it pretty much does here over the next few runs. You can see how it slowly strengthens, and this is valid tomorrow afternoon. You can see what it does there, so I'll continue going on. And you can see what it does here. It brings it northward into the central, actually the eastern Gulf. I think this is a little bit too far east, given what some of the other model guidance has, but again, you can see that pretty much, again, impacting the central Gulf of Mexico as we go into the day on Monday. So that is what Marco looks like there. And we'll go now take a look at Laura. Let me switch over the domain here. Let me see if I can go over here. And here is Laura. And Laura is really getting impressive looking. If you wanted to compare Laura to Marco, certainly Laura's got a bigger footprint, I would say, in the atmosphere than Marco. And again, this here is Puerto Rico. Here is the Dominica. Here is Haiti, and over here on the very left part of the image is Cuba. And it looks like over the latest guidance that this is going to be able to go in between the islands. And we'll see that here in the guidance. So I'll go back over here to the tropical cyclone guidance home, and let's just take a look here at Laura. So here's the European ensemble with Laura, keeping it in between Puerto Rico and the Dominican, then bringing it through just the north of the Dominican. Looks like staying north of Cuba, most likely staying out of the state of Florida and really getting to some very, very high ocean heat content, which are very, very high, which I'll pull that up also while I'm on here. Let me go and grab that. The Reynolds method. Take a look at the SSTs where this thing is moving over. You can see the water temperature is plenty warm, upwards of mid and upper 80s where this is going to be going over. The anomaly loop looks like this. I'll get it over. You can see that temperatures Gulf of Mexico over the last week or so have been running well above normal, and you can see the current day valid the 21st yesterday. The Gulf of Mexico at least a degree Celsius above normal, so much warmer than it, well, not much warmer, but warmer than it should be, which will be enough energy to supply a powerful tropical storm. And if I go over here and pull up the MPI, the maximum potential energy for a tropical cyclone, we can see what that looks like over here. So you can see the Gulf of Mexico is loaded and ready to go and can support multiple tropical cyclones, very intense ones to say the least, with at least Category 5. I mean, you can't get any higher than this off the color bar. Pressures in the 880s, winds of 165 knots. So if everything else is favorable, the Gulf of Mexico is fully loaded to support a powerful Hurricane Laura, which I do believe which will happen given the SSTs and everything else that we are seeing. So again, there is Laura, and it has a very, very good fingerprint within the atmosphere. And again, there's the European ensemble starting to really tighten up and strengthen up Laura as it gets into the Gulf of Mexico early next week. The GFS, which is over here, looks like this. For some reason, it seems to be underdone, but I think it's going to be much stronger than what the GFS has. Now looking at the UK Met, I actually like the UK Met quite a bit on this. You can see the UK Met again in Louisiana looking like that. And again, some of these members getting up to 70, 80 knots. And I think Laura is going to become a Category 4, Category 5 hurricane. Looking at this pattern, and again, the water temperatures and the European operational guidance. European operational has European GFS bring both Marco and Lauren as a major hurricane into New Orleans early next week. So this is going to be really quite something to see, and it's a very, very concerning pattern to see both of these models. You know, the European GFS doing it with both of these systems, Marco, and then again Laura. So a really, really interesting situation, and again, historically and unfortunately a dangerous situation coming up for the Central Gulf Coast region, again going into early next week. So with all that said, here is my track and intensity forecast for Marco, having it getting to a hurricane later on today. I bring it up to a 90-mile-per-hour storm tomorrow. There'll be a little bit of shear in here, which will thankfully hold it back just a bit, and then weakening it. Maybe I'm a little too quick weakening it. I have it 50 miles an hour Monday, and then I bring it out the northwest, and maybe I'll have it a little bit further north than that, more into Louisiana than Texas, but I weaken it quite dramatically as it gets inland, as obviously it loses its primary heat source being the ocean. But you can see what I do there with Marco. I get it to a hurricane. Now Laura's over here, 45 miles an hour. I keep it just on the northern side of Dominica here. Maybe actually maybe a good track right over the northern coast of the island. And then maybe I could go a little bit further north here regarding the whole relationship with Cuba, but still very, very close to the island of Cuba for the center. So it may or may not have an impact on its intensity. That's going to be ironed out tomorrow. And then once it gets over, if it does go over Cuba like this, it will certainly keep it weak, which you see what I'm doing there. And then once it gets off, it's going to really intensify. It could be a 90-mile-per-hour storm and then going up to 115 by early next week. So Monday it's 40. Here it is Tuesday over here at 90, and then Wednesday I bring it to a major. And again, if this remains north of Cuba, the center, this could very well be a hurricane by Monday. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how that goes over the next day or so. But again, an historic situation coming into the Central Gulf of Mexico early this upcoming week. That's it for now, and thank you for watching.